Hello, hello. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, hello. I'm Jean. It's nice to meet you. I am an English teacher, and today I have, once again, my question jar. This question jar is full of questions about learning English. So let's take a look at what we get today. Today's question is taking a break from English harmful or helpful? Is taking a break from English harmful or helpful? Oh, such a good question. I have actually gotten this question quite a bit in my live streams. So, if you don't know, currently I live stream publicly twice a week on Fridays and Sundays. And I've gotten this question several times. Is it okay to take a break? The short answer is it depends. Like so many things with learning a language, something as complicated as learning a language, it depends. Often, I think that it is more helpful than harmful. And I'll explain why. Learning is a marathon, it is not a sprint, it is a long relationship. So you run the very real risk of burning out. Now, burnout is when you are so tired, your brain is at capacity, and you can't take it anymore. You are physically, emotionally, mentally exhausted. So I believe that taking breaks helps prevent burnout. And preventing burnout, I think, is one of the most important parts of learning a language because language learning is such a marathon. So even if the grammar is difficult, it's hard to improve your speaking, or you feel like you're never going to understand native speakers, all of that is possible to overcome. But burnout is, I think, the biggest killer of language mastery, of fluency. So I think protecting yourself from burnout by taking a break, either a short break or a long break, I think is worth it. Now, another thing is more scientific, and I'm not a scientist, so I will speak very carefully about this topic, but I've heard a lot about how your brain requires moments of quiet recovery in order to optimize your memory. So, this is one reason why sleep is so important. While you're sleeping, your brain is doing a lot of work, a lot of tidying up, I guess we can say. And so when you don't sleep or when you don't sleep well, that's why it's so hard to focus and get things done. So when you take a break, this actually helps your brain organize information. We kind of see this same principle with going to the gym. You have to have days to rest to give your muscles time to recover. You can't just go every day and push, 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 push. You will hurt yourself. And I think it's the same with learning a language. You need to have rest periods so that you don't hurt your brain. Now, I did say that I think it depends. So, for example, I think if you are a beginner in the language, like A1, A2, then I think taking a break for like even a week, I think can be more damaging than helpful. I think it's more hurtful in the beginning, but I think when you get to B1 and above, I think breaks are far more helpful than hurtful when you reach that level. I think it also depends on how long the break is. So, for example, when I was learning Chinese, I learned Chinese for 3 years. Now, I learned it academically, so just for school. I wasn't learning it because I wanted to. But after 3 years, especially at the end of that 3 years, when I was in Taiwan, I was very tired. I was very tired. I was burnt out. And I decided to take a break for the summer. But the problem is, I never went back to Chinese. So that summer stretched into a year and then another year. And now I have not learned Chinese in 9 years. So let's compare that to my experience with French. When I was learning French, I learned it on my own because I wanted to. And when I took a break from French, it was about a month. And when I returned to French, I discovered that I hadn't really forgotten much. And I felt refreshed and I felt more eager to learn the language. So I think the duration of the break matters. If you're taking a break for a year, too long. If you're taking a break for a month, that's probably actually going to help you. I also think that the reason you take a break matters. Like I said, to prevent burnout, yes. But if you are avoiding the language for whatever reason, procrastinating, that's different, I think. I think the goal of a break should be to give your brain time to organize, to recover, with the intention of returning to the language with more energy, with more clarity, with more motivation. So you can actually think about Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a very famous book about good habits. And one of the things that James Clear talks about in his book is about systems. So I think that if you take a break and reflect on creating a good system for yourself when you return to the language, I think this is a good idea. I also think that you should put a specific time on your break. So, for example, okay, I'm going to take a break from English for 7 days. I will return to English on this date. And in those 7 days, you think about what habits you want to start when you return to English. Don't use words like someday or eventually, because that's not specific. That's more like avoiding it. And we don't want to do that. We want to be consistent because that's how you become fluent in a language. So I think in general, the general takeaway here is that breaks are not the enemy. However, I think that they should be purposeful decisions and not accidental endings. So, more like when I was learning French, less like when I was learning Chinese. Learning a language is, like I said, a long relationship. So you're allowed to take some time, to take some space, as long as you come back with a plan. As always, I would love to know what you think about this question. Is taking a break from English harmful or helpful? So let me know your opinion in the comments. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye.